Hey guys, it's Hey Dude. I guess I wanted to come back on here and talk a little bit about Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Again, this movie, I feel like, is like, been delayed like how many fucking times already? And just like with the shit that was, because I remember that the shit was like going on with Shamika Moore, who voices Miles Morales, was doing some creepy shit, like trying to flirt with Haley Steinfeld, who voices Gwen. I'm like, oh my god. Like, again, I was like thinking, I wouldn't be surprised if that part where he literally just straight up, like literally 2 seconds after he meets Gwen, Miles puts his hand on her shoulder and Lily's like, hey, and in a really uncomfortable way, and then she's like, okay. I'm like, I can tell now why she's uncomfortable, because like, it's weird. I mean, again, like, at least with, again, I haven't heard a single negative thing about the Insomniac Miles Morales. Again, I could be wrong, but he doesn't seem like a bad dude. I've seen him, like, some other stuff other than, like, maybe, like, The Last of Us or something. But I'm wondering, like, what the hell they're gonna really do with, both him and, 42 Prowler Miles. Because, again, I mentioned this, like, a while ago, but, again, the movie left off in a crazy cliffhanger. It's like, I'm wondering, like, again, obviously, but they're probably gonna fight or duke it out and some shit, because, again, it's like, basically, well, again, he became the Prowler, and he became Spider-Man, but the confusing thing is, he wasn't meant to be Spider-Man. And I'm like, that's kind of really weird, like, and it's just like, again, I'm wondering, if they're just basically gonna become partners or friends not long after they duke it out like the Avengers did or something. And it's just like, I don't know, it's like, again, what would be the point of literally just a big old boss battle with fucking 42 Prowler Miles if, they're just gonna basically become friends, like, also, Batman and Superman and Batman v Superman. It's like, and not to mention, the one thing I'm also kind of wondering is, like, the whole movie, well, I guess not the whole movie, but, the movie kind of had the whole thing between him and Gwen, it ended kind of an ugly note. Like, that whole thing, I would imagine it's like, ugh. Not to mention, and it's like, he wanted to see her again, but then it's just like, I feel like, in my opinion, Gwen kind of put him in an awful position, but then again, he did follow her to the Spider Society. The one thing I'm kind of confused, even still, since Across the Spider-Verse came out, is that the second movie took place a year and 4 months after the first movie, and I'm like, what? It's like, I guess within the movie logic it does, but then again, the first movie came out fucking December 14th, 2018, but then again, its sequel, which, I mean, I remember that got delayed many times as well, basically didn't come out fucking until 2023, and I'm like, I remember when I watched it on DVD, and it was like one of the best animated Spider-Man movies I've ever watched. I was like, again, both, like, the movie took 5 years to come out. I'm like, that don't even make any sense by movie logic. I mean, it's said that the movie is going to release June 25th, 2027, so like 4 years after the second movie, which I really hope this movie ain't going to get delayed to fucking 2028 or 29. Because enough movies from fucking Hollywood have gotten delayed, and it's just like, again, I know it's Sony being Sony, or Sony doing its thing, but it's like, again, the one thing that's really bothered me about Sony is that they own a Marvel character that they basically had an opportunity to make so much money from, yet they decide to prioritize or have all their focus on a fucking spin-off Spider-Man movie universe. Which again, personally, in my opinion, Morbius wasn't too bad. The Venom movies, I think, are actually pretty good. But again, it's like out of half of those that people probably really like. I think the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Miles trilogy is like, I think it's like the best not just animated movie, but Spider-Man trilogy by far, or anything Spider-Man movie media related in general. It just mainly sucks because all the shit that Sony decided to pull. It's like with their Sony Spider-Man movies, it's like that's probably why it got rebooted and we never got a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. And again, I also did maybe mention this, but I always thought it was stupid that they literally set up to have Venom in Spider-Man No Way Home, but he wasn't even in No Way Home. Well, I guess he was at the end of No Way Home, but he wasn't even in the actual movie for the entire time until the very end. I'm like, at least we got a camera, but like, what the hell? Again, I know they mentioned, Doctor Strange, and I guess it's in Earth 1999, which I guess is Earth 616, which I don't know why it's called 616, but then 1999. I mean, again, I'm also wondering is if they're gonna. I mean, maybe they are gonna kill off Jefferson Davis or Jefferson Morales, whatever the hell his name is. And I guess have him be killed off by Spot, which again, I feel like he didn't have much screen time in Across the Spider-Verse. Maybe he had a decent amount of screen time, but it didn't feel like it was really much because, again, he feel like, he was like a comedy relief villain than an actual villain. I love how they literally had him travel to different dimensions, even to the Sony Venom Spider-Man. The Sony Venom spin-off universe, which I thought was so damn cool. They just basically merged actual footage from that movie with him traveling to that dimension. I was like, that is so cool. They literally sort of had him say you act like normal stuff happens like this every day. But again, the craziest thing I still think is that Miles ends up getting bit by a spider that's not even from that fucking universe. I'm like, okay, what? I'm like, okay, that sounds a little weird, because it's again, I feel like, because of, Kingpin's, multiverse bullshit for the, the particle collider, that's the whole reason why that spider ended up there in the first place, because I remember he was, just glitching out like a video game character or something, or a video game glitch. And I'm thinking it's kind of obvious. I'm the one thing I just don't understand is why Miles is being blamed for all this interdimensional shit when it was literally Kingpin's nonsense of literally trying to get his family back from another universe, which is what caused all that shit to begin with. And it's what really killed, Miles Spider-Man in the first place, the one voiced by Chris Pine. But it's again, I don't know. I just think it's really stupid. Miguel O'Hara is he's trying to fix all that shit and really blaming Miles and everything that's really in his universe happening when it literally was Kingpin who was the one who caused it. I mean, again, I know they're probably gonna. I don't know if they're probably gonna take time out on polishing that whole canon multiverse shit, because I do like the multiverse shit because it's just different timelines or iterations of different Spider-Man, while at the same time just cameoing, having the other Spider-Man cameo in there. But it's like, it doesn't make sense because what Miguel O'Hara said in that movie is like, canon events is what ties all that shit together, is what makes them who they are, which is basically true, because if, you know, his Uncle Aaron didn't die, Miles wouldn't be Spider-Man. Or like Uncle Ben didn't die, you know, Peter probably wouldn't been Spider-Man, or, you know, without great power comes great responsibility, you know, all that stuff. But it's like, I don't know. Again, he does make a point, though, when he says he was never meant to be Spider-Man, because I didn't realize, you know, when I was watching that movie like a couple years ago, I realized, I'm like, oh! Because, again, I remember he straight up says he's an anomaly, like, just before he literally, I guess, you know, as he's, like, trying to escape from Miguel and the rest of the Spider Society, so it's just trying to chase him or something. I'm like, again, the movie, I remember, I really still think the movie's just straight up intense, not to mention, it's like, Gwen and Peter B. Parker kept that shit from him, and it's like, I don't know, I mean, I kind of wonder, you know, if, you know, Gwen's actually going to reunite with him and stuff, and, you know, try to reconcile, and I don't know, because now, I remember watching, after that movie, I got done watching that movie, that it was like the short, official short film called The Spider Within, which I thought it was, kind of felt like a Across the Spider-Verse aftermath horror movie. I was like, that one was just straight up disturbing as hell. And I'm like, again, but another thing is, again, what kind of sucks is the parallel between, you know, Prowler Miles and, you know, the end of the Spider-Verse Miles is like, he became the Prowler instead of becoming Spider-Man, but then he became Spider-Man instead of becoming Prowler because he got bit by the 42 spider. And I'm like, again, it would be cool, like, I guess, you know, if they teamed up, I guess maybe with Gwen's team, if, you know, he reconciles things with Gwen, and they all team up to stop the Spot from literally killing Miles' dad, Jefferson Davis, which, again, I don't know if they'll do that. That would be cool if they did. But anyway, I know, like, you know, the people who made the Spider-Verse trilogy also make K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm like, I actually want to watch that because it's on Netflix right now. But, like, again, like, I'm kind of wondering if, like, now they're going to include so many more Spider-Man cameos or different iterations of Spider-Man from different universes like they did in that movie. I'm like, again, please. It's like, I know people are going to say this fan service, but it's like, what's so wrong with fan service? It's like, hell, like, but yeah, personally, I never thought I would say this, but I think, you know, back in 2018, when both these versions of Miles Morales came out, I think, you know, Spider-Man fans were eating good. But, you know, it's like, there was nothing better than, I guess maybe there was something better, but yeah, it's like, you know, it was good to be a Spider-Man fan, you know, when both those versions came out. But yeah, I guess that's it today for me talking about Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. I can't wait till it comes out June 25th, 2027, so yeah, I hope to see what it turns out to be. So I guess I'll be coming down below if you guys want to subscribe, share, see you guys later. Peace out.